Right. Today, I'm incredibly excited to welcome a guest who's not only an exceptional investor, but also my friend. I have the pleasure of knowing since 2018 when I first started my investing journey. Chloe, also known as the Arigato investor, has been a force for transformation. She has been creating a lot of profound impact in the lives of those around her over the years. She has built a reputation for being more than just an investor. She's a change maker, using her skills and insights to outlive and empower investors to achieve financial freedom and personal growth. So today we will deep dive into the story behind her success, how she's driving change and the money making lessons she's learned along the way. So welcome to the show, Chloe. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much, Wei Jie, for inviting me to be here. I'm always inspired by you as well. I think you are super action taker, you're super positive, and you have this persistence to do whatever it takes. So I'm looking forward to learning from you as well.
Yeah. So Chloe, your journey is actually well known to many. Could you reflect on a specific achievement that fills you with a lot of pride? And what is the underlying passion that fuels your continuous drive for success? So how do you
Um,
think this passion shapes your beliefs and actions?
I think I can give maybe just a quick background story of myself. Like I used
Yeah.
to be a journalist, right? So when I was being a journalist, I really enjoyed the work that I was doing. I was able to interview many great people, including our ex-Prime Minister Lee. But at the same time, being a journalist, my working hour was super, super long, right? Like working hours super long, but at the same time, the pay was not exactly very good. So that was also when I start to ask myself, like, what else can I do? Like, what other income sources can I create? Because I just don't see myself continue doing that for, I've been doing that for a couple of years, as a journalist for 3 years, but constantly I'm asking myself, what else can I do in my life to unlock more income, to mainly wanting to take care of my family. So at that time, I already started learning investing, just like what Wei Jie, when you first started, I also attended a program. So when I attended a program, I really fell in love with investing. I felt that it's very empowering, that skill set. And at the same time, I started to volunteer out as just a guardian back then, like hosting certain small groups activities. And then there was one time that my ex-boss, okay, his name is Sean. I think everybody know him. He's an amazing person, right? So at that time, he actually asked the community and hey, like we are going to actually conduct a program in Japan teaching about value investing. Who would like to go along? And and then I was like, oh my God, Japan, I always love Japanese people. I love Japanese culture. And that's why I also study Japanese. And that's how I volunteer myself to go to Japan with him. And for the first time, I conducted training in Japanese, teaching people about investing in a completely foreign language. I still remember at that time when I first went there, we still did the traditional way of doing like English, and then there's a simultaneous translator to the students. But I can see that the students were struggling because I can imagine how difficult it is. Like you hear two voices at the same time, right? And at the same time, they also look confused. Maybe the translations cannot be able to capture the essence as much as they wanted to. The translator did a great job, but I think there's certain nuances that they cannot fully capture. So that's when I asked my Japanese students at that time and say, hey guys, my Japanese are not fantastic, but I can still share with you investing in a way that even kids understand. Is it okay that you want me to share in Japanese? And all of them say yes, yes, yes. And that's how I started. I started teaching investing in Japanese. And I think Sean saw the potential in me that, hey, I'm able to take care of the Japanese people as well, the Japanese students. And that's how I pivot my career from being a journalist to become a investing coach, focusing mainly on the Japan market initially. So I was, I think, very proud of myself for stepping up, right? Because not a lot of people probably have the courage to teach Japanese, to teach Japanese people investing, right? Not to mention about teaching English, investing in English. So I really challenged my comfort zone, and I'm so glad that I grabbed the opportunity. And because of that, I think my life has been transformed since then.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, for me, even if I want to teach investing in Chinese, I will probably shy away because it's not a language that I'm very strong at. So really happy for you that you managed to teach a group of Japanese investing and actually got them started. So my next question for you is, let's say if someone aspires to reach the level of success that you have attained today, right? Like from scratch. So what is one life skill like who you identify as essential for achieving the major breakthroughs and success? So why do you think this skill will be pivotal?
I think a lot of skill sets have helped me to attain where I am today. I don't qualify myself to be like highly successful. I'm also improving. I think everybody is here to improve. But one skill set that I think is very useful for me is actually being thick-skinned. Being thick-skinned that you are not afraid to make mistakes. You're not afraid to look bad on yourself, right? Just imagine like back in Japan, I think I was super thick-skinned that I asked my Japanese students, is it okay I teach you in Japanese? But like Japanese is not very good, but you guys okay with it? And they're okay. And then like at that time, I was also thick-skinned enough to volunteer myself to go to Japan, even though I have no idea what exactly was going to happen. So and then when I was offered the opportunity to say that, hey, do you want to consider becoming a trainer, helping out, I was also thick-skinned enough to just try out. So I think that is one very important, I wouldn't say skill set, but more like an attribute. So don't be afraid to step out. Don't be afraid to really grab the opportunity in front of you, because you never know what kind of potential path that you can lead yourself into, right? What kind of opportunities that you can unlock for yourself just by saying yes, just by really being open-minded and try out. And of course, once you try out, you want to make sure you really work hard, right? Like, so for a few skill sets that I acquired that I thought it was super important and very useful will be communications, right? Being able to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, your messages to your audience, which is a form of speaking. So to me, in the past, I never expect myself to become a speaker because I was very shy when I was young. But over time, I think the environment encouraged me to step out, and I feel even more and more joyful, like speaking in front of people and expressing my thoughts. So it's a journey. It's never an overnight. But if you are willing to really give yourself a chance to live extraordinary life that you don't want to hide behind, I would say step out, be bold, be thick-skinned, and start speaking to people. Yeah, start speaking in front of a group of audience to eventually speaking in front of a big stage that will really help you.
That's an awesome answer, Chloe. But let me dive into this attribute thick skin. So, like, because you were once a journalist, of course, you have the ability to interview people who are probably high level, like our ex-Prime Minister Lee. But let's say when you want to go to someone who is a total stranger and you don't feel like talking to that person. So how do you bring out that thick skin in you, like when you feel so uncomfortable?
I think at the end of the day is be genuinely interested in that person, right? Because I think everybody has something that we can learn from, right? Everybody has experience and lessons that I do not know. So for me, I was just carrying that learner attitude, like be it me being a journalist back then, or right now being like a podcaster, like interviewing, for example, interviewing you or me interviewing other people. I'm just interested in to learn what the other person has to share. So when you are actually interested in learning, the other person will be even more generous to share what he or she has on her mind, right? Because everybody loves to share, everybody loves to educate, right? And when you are thinking about learning, then you don't feel so shy that, oh my God, how is the person going to judge me whatsoever? Because you are there to learn, and the person actually 90% of the time, I've interviewed so many people, they are all so kind, so gracious to share everything that the person wants you to learn. So change your mindset in terms of being judged. Instead, you are there to learn.
Cool. Right. I mean, I have actually watched all your interviews, and I think that really exemplifies the learner mindset. So for someone starting from a place of like extreme financial struggle, so what strategic steps would you recommend to that someone for building wealth from the ground up? And what are the mindset shifts that are necessary to support that journey?
I think firstly, when it comes to extreme financial struggle, there are
Hmm.
different levels as well.
Yes, correct.
If you're talking about people who are in debt, then I would say really make sure that you control your spending, right? You do not want to
Hmm.
overspend what you have, and you just want to make sure you pay off your debt as much as possible and as soon as possible, because we all know how
Hmm.
much interest can incur on you if you don't take care of your expenses and your debt. So then
Hmm.
once you settle this part, that means you are debt free, or technically your debt is not straining you. Like you have more than enough buffer to take care of your debt. At the same time, you still have money to enjoy, for example, go for holiday, go for certain good meals with your family. Then the next time that you need to ask yourself is, then how can I actually start to make money work for me, right? Instead of you constantly working for money. And since you
Hmm.
have certain buffer of income that you can always kind of save aside, after putting aside your emergency fund, then you should think about how can I use the rest of money to invest, right? And I think when it comes to investing, don't try to have the mindset of trying to get rich quick, because I think
Hmm.
this mindset, I used to have it. And because of that, I also suffered a lot, because I was trying to take on a lot of risks that were unnecessary. And I was trying to do a lot of strategies that was actually not suitable for my character, right? But because of that, I learned, and now I prefer a much more stable and a more consistent way of investing. So I would say, as a beginner, if you don't know what to do, you just invest in the US index, like US index fund, S&P 500.
Hmm.
And even though it might not give you that, whoa, 100% return in 1 year, but you are able to compound your wealth like 10%, 10%, 10% every single year. And don't look down at that 10%, because if you just give that 10% enough time, your $1,000, your $10,000 will eventually turn it into $1,000,000, which will definitely help you to have a much more comfortable retirement life than what you are currently doing right now by not investing, right? Because you are not investing, your money is being eroded away by inflations anyway. So if you invest in the US market just by indexing in S&P 500, over time, you're going to do well. And of course, along the way, if you want to create wealth even better, even faster, then pick up different skill set, right? Be it, is it trading? Be it, is it crypto? Be it, is it like including starting your business, your side hustle?
Hmm.
That's how you really start to generate multiple streams of income. And among all these different aspects of vehicles, ask yourself, which one is the most suitable for you? And then you double down on that, right? And that's how you are able to compound your wealth much faster and reach your version of financial freedom.
Okay, that is really great. So I hear a couple of things, but I think two things that really stand out to me is to get out of debt first, right? Which is the most important because interest rates are killing people. And the second thing is to really don't look down on the 10% because uh, the get rich quick mindset can really kill a lot of investors along the way. So could you as the alligator investor, could you also elaborate on your approach to attracting money? So how do you practice yourself to foster a really healthy relationship with money itself?
I think it's also a constant learning journey for myself, because
Yeah.
just like many other people, I think occasionally my worries towards money will always come back. So I think it's totally normal for people to feel worried because we are in this highly stressful world. Like, for example, we are living in Singapore. We kind of constantly have to have the pressure to perform, to become better. So it's okay. But I think over time, I start to also realize that occasionally when those negative stress or noises come back to your head, you just learn to empty it. It's like recently I attended this warrior camp. Robert, I think it was fantastic. So he talked about, okay, this is, imagine this is a cup, right? So we are the container of the cup. So the water inside, we can choose to empty it, right? So whatever negative things, that negative relationship or negative thoughts or feelings towards money, you have it, but you also have the choice to go and empty it and renew your content with better beliefs, beliefs that empower you, that you are able to create wealth, you are able to attract abundance into your life. And if every day you just keep on renewing your brain, eventually it will sink into your subconsciousness and you will start to believe that it's true, right? That I'm able to create wealth, I'm able to attract wealth. So how do I change over time from a very, very, I think, scarcity mindset back then to like a very insecure mindset back then to right now? I feel that I'm more abundant. I feel that I am more at ease with money. It's really by reprogramming myself with different helpful resources, from like books to listening to podcasts like this, to really watching great YouTube videos to empower yourself, to eventually also attending programs, right? Like, because programs are the best way to force yourself in an enclosed environment and start to shift your mindset in a shorter period of time. So that's why I think it has been really helpful for me. It's still a journey. And I would say that I totally understand whoever who is going through this scarcity mindset or struggle with money. It's totally normal. But despite knowing that it's normal, don't think that it's you only have that, right? You actually have choice. You can start to change your belief by really exploring different help sources that are around you. And a lot of helps are actually free, that you can just, right, listen to podcasts like this, go online for YouTube video or books to start to change your mindset.
That's a very great answer, Chloe. So I think for me, right, when I started from my journey, it's also from a very scarcity mindset, but it took me at least 5 years to get to this stage, right, to actually constantly reprogramming. And I encourage everybody who is listening to this podcast, right, you are not alone and it's normal. So you can just keep on upgrading your mindset and reprogram, and that's where you get to a stage where you have a healthy relationship with money. So, Chloe, so what investments for yourself, right, to has proven to be the most rewarding for you? Like, how do you go about discovering these profitable opportunities? So, do you have a strategy?
I think I really went to explore many different strategies before
Yeah.
like really realizing what truly works for me the most. So there is really no one size fit all kind of strategy, right? Because yesterday was as I was interviewing this multi-million-dollar fund manager from the US,
Correct.
he also shared the same thing, that basically different investors have different personality and there will be different approach that is suitable for you. So I think when we first started our learning journey, it's okay to really explore, right? That you can try out trading, you can try out crypto, you can try out whatever things that you think that may sound appealing to you. But of course, as you are trying out, you don't want to just anyhow gamble your money, that you really want to just study into it and explore. And after that, see whether is it like, do you have the consistency that can give yourself that kind of financial reward eventually as you double down, right? So after me trying out so many things, eventually I really felt that the most suitable instrument for me is really boring. It's just ETF, right? Like exchange traded fund, that you just cannot go wrong with it. And then on top of that, because most people would think that exchange traded fund is generally slow, like for example, S&P 500, 10% per year. It's really not fast. And that's why over the years, because previously I learned about options and I felt that options is a great vehicle. Can I combine it with ETF that can accelerate my return even faster? And I think I found it, right? Like using options combined with ETF, it's much more stable, much more consistent. At the same time, my downside risk, it's even lower as compared to individual stocks. So that's why right now I'm just 80% to even 90% of my portfolio is just doing ETF with options. And then just about 10 to 20% it's on individual stocks. So I shifted gradually over the years as well, just like what you are experiencing through Wei Jie, right? You found your way over the years. I also found my way over the years. And I think it's also important that for our listeners, go and explore. And then eventually when you find your own path, just double down on it.
Okay, right. So great. I think ETFs is something that I haven't explored yet. So probably I'll also start my exploration journey into ETFs. So drawing from your experience, like what common pitfalls do investors often encounter in the financial markets? And what are the proactive strategies that you would say to someone to avoid all these pitfalls? Could you share a personal story of yours and how you face it and how you overcome this challenge?
I think one of the greatest pitfall that I personally also went through, and right now, once in a while, I will still experience, is basically you still want to make money fast, right? You still want to get rich quick. And that's why you will end up taking on a lot of unnecessary risky trades that you may not fully comprehend. Or you are taking on certain traits that your character might not be suitable, right? So for example, for myself, I realize I'm more like a passive long-term kind of investor. As much as we know that long-term is great, but a lot of time we lose patience. We're like, how long is long, right? Can we make our millions in like what, in 1 to 2 years rather than like 10, 20 years down the road, right? So I think that's what a lot of people wanted to do. Because of that, they end up taking a lot of silly trades that end up hurting their portfolio. So that's when I think like during the recent bear market, just about 1 year plus ago, right? Like we had a prolonged 1.5 year of downturn, right? Like you just keep on seeing your stocks dropping every single day. And I have to be honest, right? Even though I have years of investing experience in the market, I still felt so emotionally affected. Like, who feel happy when you see your portfolio going down every day, right? That you saw your profits no more and then become like red. That feeling really doesn't sit well with me. So that was when I realized that like all those individual stocks that I bought, right? That's when I started to question myself. Is it true that Meta is really that good? Like, wow, number of user growth is slowing. And then I heard some of my team member back then that from the marketing team, they say that, Meta, I think it's the ads is getting very expensive. We are exploring other platforms, like TikTok, all this. Then from this, because even though you study the annual reports, you still start to question yourself, holy, maybe I don't know things that they know, right? Maybe their experience is telling me that my analysis is wrong, right? And that's when all those, like all those noises start to come in. And when my Meta dropped to like so low, right? When it's like below $100, right? As much as I know that, wow, this is a great company that we should probably add on, you just don't dare to do it. And you just like felt that, oh my God, like you even consider, should I actually cut loss? That was the exact thing that I was going through on my mind. But at the same time, that's why I did not dare to add any more positions, despite that the market was giving me huge favorable discount, right? All those individual stocks, I just don't dare to do anything else, right? But at the same time, you still want to use certain of your cash into investing, right? Because you still have cash, but if you don't dare to add to the individual portfolio, individual stocks, what can I do? Then I was like, okay, I think I should just not care so much about individual stocks because that is not giving me the peace that I'm looking for. And that's when I started to think about, okay, what else can I do? Then I thought, okay, why not I just invest in ETF, right? Because I know ETF, for example, S&P 500, Meta is just one of it. If Meta goes down to zero, well, I still have the rest of like 400 over stocks that is doing okay, right? Doing great. And that's when I start to buy a lot of ETF, either through options, either through like just buying the stocks outright. And I'm so glad I did it, because even though ETF did not recover as fast as those individual stocks, but I do not have to feel worrying about the market or the individual company all the time. And when the market recover, the amount of money that I put into ETF, it really gives me substantial profits as well. Right. And at the same time, all those individual stocks, when they recover, of course, they recover way faster. But from this experience, I also came to realize that I really don't have that kind of emotion stability towards individual companies, right? And that's when actually, when the market recovered, I sold off quite a lot of my profitable positions for all those tech companies, and I just shift them towards ETFs like QQQ, S&P 500, so that I don't need to care or monitor or be swayed by the market anymore.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, it was quite a challenging journey, right? To see all your stocks going down and feel like, do I really know my stuff? Like,
Yeah.
stock really undervalued. I've been through done that as well. Sometimes will still fall into that certain pitfall, but probably do some meditation and see whether am I right on the thesis and such. And I'm glad that you have started to go on to ETS and found your path along this journey and overcome it. So I understand that you have actually ventured into your own business about ETF investing. Who do you think is your target audience, and what specific outcomes do you want to facilitate for them through your expertise?
I felt that ETFs, from my own painful investing journey, like for the past 10
Yeah.
years, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? That's when I realized that it's suitable, firstly, if I were a beginner. I just really wish myself, right, like 10 years ago, if I don't start any other investment vehicles like trading, whatsoever, options, if I just do one thing, if I just keep on buying the S&P 500 dollar cost averaging, I think my portfolio will be way, way bigger than what I'm enjoying today, right? So that's why I felt ETF, it's for everyone. Like, especially if you are beginners, you don't know what to do, you just do dollar cost averaging and just fix amount, buy it every single month, and you will see magic compound, right? Because time compounds your wealth, right? Using ETF. So that is the first target audience. Like, I think beginners, go for it. And then secondly, it's also for people who struggle, like just like what I went through as well. I struggled so much. I saw my profits come and go, come and go. I'm like, right? Like, eventually I realized that what I'm looking for is stability, right? And I want to make sure that as my portfolio grows bigger, I do not want to risk it, right? I'm no longer like in my early 20s, right? I want to make sure that whatever money that I invest, I protect it well, right? So that when you have the longevity of your portfolio, and then your portfolio size is actually getting bigger right now, you should really let it compound in a very, very good pace, right? You don't need to grow 100%, but how about you just grow 10%, 15%, 20%? It's doable, right? If you just combine with options and ETF, right? So that's why I felt that if people who are struggling and you just been doing for so many years, but you still don't get the kind of consistency that you're looking for, then I think really consider doing ETF, right? Really consider, if you know how to add options with it, that's how you accelerate your growth slightly faster as well. Yeah. So that's why I felt that my vision is to really help individual investors to have a solid foundation. I always tell my students that you can do other things, no problem, but your ETF should be the foundation. It's like the house. The house, you can build whatever bricks that you want to add, but the foundation must be solid, because in case anything happened to your house, you did not build well, you still have a solid foundation to always fall back on. And that is true ETF investing.
Wow, cool. So I think the message for my audience, right, to take away is that you want to build a house, make sure that the foundation is strong, else probably you won't be able to retire. So could you share with me a life philosophy of yours that has profoundly influenced your identity and aspirations? So how does this philosophy guide your actions and decisions every day?
I think that that's the exact same philosophy. I call myself the arigato investor.
Uh,
Really practicing gratitude. And in fact, I have this name because I want to remind myself to be grateful of what I have. Because a lot of times I think we get so busy, right, that we constantly on this treadmill want to achieve more, have more, have more. Then we forget how much we have already enjoyed, right? That how much universe has given us, right? Be it its abundance of resources, the nature, or be it it's the abundance of skill set that the universe has given you, the wealth that they have blessed you with. I want myself to constantly remember that I'm already so blessed, right? And what can I do with this blessing, right? Can I start to use this blessing to help more people, to inspire more people, and also get people on the right path of really creating wealth in a much more peaceful and suitable way for themselves, right? Because at the end of the day, like I said, there's no one size fits all strategy. It might not be suitable for everyone. ETF might not be suitable for everyone. But I felt that if you are somebody who are really looking for stability, looking for a very safe way to compound your wealth, then I think ETF is suitable, right? So at the same time as you are compounding your wealth, practice that gratitude that, oh, wow, even though like a lot of people say, I want to have $1 million portfolio, but what if you don't have it today? Can you still be grateful for what you have? Yes, you can, right? That you can be grateful that you are alive, that you are able to experience life. You are able to use whatever things that you have to go and enjoy, right? Go and help other people. So to me, I think wealth creation is just one part of our life. And there are so many other things that we can also be grateful for to really have a happy and peaceful life.
That's cool. Gratitude. One of the most important lessons since I learned investing in 2018. So, have you always been a person that practice gratitude, or it is something that you started on this journey, like probably recently? Could you
I
share with us your
yeah.
journey of gratitude?
I think I am definitely not the person who born with knowing how to practice gratitude. So it's also a constant journey. Even until today, there are
Yeah.
times that I felt that I'm not really practicing gratitude. I'm not living what I'm supposed to live, right? Really having that joy and gratitude in life. So what I do every day is I really remind myself to be grateful.
Okay.
So how do I remind myself? I actually have a
Yeah.
notebook. I can share with you guys.
Wow.
Like basically, I have this notebook. We even have
Uh,
a puppet sticker on it. And then
okay.
after that, like every day, I would just write down like what am I grateful for? So you can see that this is like 10 October and then 11 October, right? So I start my day. I actually learned this from another professional fund manager. His name is Garden Bay. He's
Yes.
the author of Joys of Compounding. I love his book. And there was one time that I had this honor of being able to interview him as well. And then I asked Garden, what are the best habits that you have been practicing that have helped you to become who you are today, right? Being so successful and all this, right? Then he said that every day he does these 5 things. The first thing is every day when he wake up, he will write down what is he grateful for, right? Just 3 things, like 3 things that you are grateful for in life. Be it, is it your family? Be it, is it that you are living healthily? Or be it, is it that you are having, like, for example, $1 million portfolio inside your account, right? So you just write down the 3 things. Every day can be different. Just ask yourself, what are you grateful for every day? And that's number 1. And number 2 is affirmation. Like what do you believe yourself to be? And
Okay.
praise yourself, really acknowledge yourself, right? Like you believe yourself, you have the ability to create abundance in life. You have this ability to inspire people. You are a helpful person. You are a generous person. You just keep on remember about the cup story, that the content that inside the cup, whatever negativity that I had in the past, I always constantly try to empty it. And I try to pour those empowering beliefs that help me into my content every day. Then I constantly renew myself. It's a journey, right? And then that is number 2. And number 3 is what is going to be amazing today? Like what kind of amazing thing it's going to, okay, I cannot see for some reason, but what kind of amazing thing is going to happen today?
Yes.
So today I wrote that I'm going to have an amazing discussion with Wei Jie, that I'm going to learn a lot from you. I'm able to inspire people through your podcast. And it's amazing, right? Are we having an amazing time, right? So
Yes.
if you prime yourself with amazing things that's going to happen in your life every day, how can your life not be amazing, right? And then after that, the fourth thing, that is the fourth and fifth, you do it in the evening before you sleep, right? So the top three things you did in the morning, you set your day. And then after that, the evening time before you sleep, you write down what are the highlights that happened to you today. What is something that great that happened, right? So I will write that, hey, I really had an amazing discussion together with Wei Jie, and I felt so much empowering energy from it. And I feel good before I go to bed, right? And last but not least are the lessons that you learn from today. What did I learn by living my day to day? So you become more conscious and you will feel like you're constantly growing and constantly being even better. And that's what Charlie Munger said, right? Like if you go to bed 1% better than who you are yesterday, then you are going to be a very, very powerful force in life, that you are able to really live an extraordinary life.
Wow, that is a powerful takeaway. I mean, for myself, I don't have a gratitude journal like you do, right? I also learn from people who does gratitude journals, but to do it at a very systematical way, like probably to know your affirmations, acknowledge yourself, and three things you are grateful for. And at the end of the day, please also review and reflect on what has worked well for you or what has not worked well for you, and live 1% version better every day before sleep. I think that is a great advice for my audience as well. So, Chloe, if there is one important investing lesson that you want to teach me today, what would it be? So how has this lesson transformed your own investing approach?
Buy S&P 500.
Right. Buy S&P 500. Is that
Yeah,
it?
just don't care about the market and you just buy S&P 500. In fact, yesterday when I was having this Q&A as well with Matthew Peterson, the fund manager as well, he
Right.
said that like he always advised people who, like for example, who cannot afford to invest in his fund because his fund is like generating double-digit return as well.
Correct.
But not everybody has the kind of money to invest in a fund, right? So his advice to people who are like individual investors, he said, just, like you do these two things, your portfolio will do fine. And you are going to also become very rich in the long run. 50% allocate in S&P 500 and 50% allocate in Berkshire Hathaway, right? Which is Warren Buffett's company. And you get the top investors to invest for you who truly care about you, because Buffett, he is such a high integrity person that he want to make sure he take care of his shareholders. So if you are investing in his company, he take care of you and you get the best mind to invest for you, right? And at the same time, you invest in S&P 500, the top 500 companies, all those top CEOs that you know, Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, they are also working for you. So you don't need to think so hard how to make money. You just need to buy these two things and that's it. And then you just do dollar cost averaging over time. You're going to create wealth immensely over time.
Wow, that is a powerful lesson. So probably for my audience, right, if you are listening in right now, right, just let this sink in, like the most powerful way to make money is to keep things simple. Sometimes, right,
Exactly.
build the house. Sometimes if we put too much fanciful things, the house might crumble. So
Yes.
you have to have your foundations right from the very start, right? So, Chloe, like if people in my audience, right, wants to learn from you, like where should I send them and how can they follow you?
You can go to my website, arigatoinvestor.com. There are a lot of
Mm,
resources over there, be it it's my interviews with a lot of fund managers. You can find the articles, and you can also go to my YouTube channel, same handle, Arigato Investor. There are many, many great investing videos, resources, interview, podcasts I've done there before. And if you want to join my Telegram, I do have daily updates about my insights over there. Once again, it's Arigato Investor. Please make sure you follow the correct person on Telegram, because for some reason there are so many, like, I know, like, scammers, they're having a hard time, right? That's why they're trying to scam people using different people's name. So make sure that whoever who PM you on on Telegram is not me. Okay, I only have one Telegram channel and I don't PM anyone. So make sure you follow the right person. If you don't know, just go to my website. You have all the links over there, so that you make sure you follow the right Chloe.
Right, correct. So I think in today's era, right, we have a lot of scammers, and of course all the investing personalities have all been impersonated, right? So
Yeah.
you have to be careful, right? Because
Yes, please
if
be
you follow
careful.
the wrong people, right, your money might, I mean, even if before you started investing the ETF, your money will be gone by then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I felt like so sad for a lot of people, like, who they reach out to me and say, "Hey Chloe, did you PM me?" I say, "No, I did not." And say, "Oh my God, I transferred like $5,000, I don't know, $10,000 to this person who is a Chloe, who said that they're going to promise, she's going to promise you da da da." Then I was like, as much as I feel sad for them, but at the same time, I just felt that why not you just really learn to do it yourself, right? Why not you empower yourself with that skill set? If you really don't know what to do, buy S&P 500, buy Berkshire Hathaway, and over time you are going to make money. So once again, don't try to focus on getting rich quick. I think a lot of people who fall into the scam because they want to get rich quick and they don't want to do anything. But if you think about it, if you stretch your horizon long enough, 10 years, 20 years, and you just do something that simple like S&P 500 and Berkshire Hathaway, you are still going to get rich, and you're going to get rich safely, right? Rather than risking your own hard-earned money. So really make sure you take care of your own money, be responsible for your own money, and learn to invest well.
Awesome, Chloe. So that is the end of all my questions. Right? Thank you for coming to the show, Chloe. And I also really am grateful that you shared a lot of powerful insights on how to attract and also build an investment portfolio that is safe and consistent for the long term.